this is what the Spanish Inquisition did in order to elicit confession. First of all, we have a nice little torture device known as the Judas chair. Now, I'm not going to describe this in too much detail, but basically it's a pyramid-shaped seat that people were sitting above, tied to ropes.
Okay.
And then they would slowly lower you onto the point of the pyramid and keep lowering you, if you get my drift. Next we have the head vice, which is a pretty straightforward concept. They would put your head between, well, they would put your head in a vice and slowly tighten the thing.
And this was all to get people to love Jesus.
Yes, quite. To establish a personal relationship with the Lord, as you might say. Next we have the pear, which was a large bulbous gadget that was inserted into the orifice of choice. That could be the mouth, or I'll leave the other possibilities to your fevered imaginations. This would be, and so they insert this, and then a lever would then cause it to slowly expand, and then when it expanded it to a certain level, some points would slowly emerge from the tips. There was actually a sort of a rule that the inquisitors could use any torture method they could come up with as long as they didn't break the skin, but apparently internally doesn't count.
Ah, so I was going to say spikes typically are going to break skin.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
And finally we have the wheel, where heretics would be strapped to a big wheel and their bones slowly, well, it's not very creative, but it was extremely effective.
These are some very, very sick puppies.
Yes, we were. But all in the name of
yes, the love of Jesus.
Quite so.
But just to contemplate that people actually seriously contemplated these things, let alone carried them out. But just somebody was out there and thought, this is a good way to get converts.
Yes, well,
or find out those who propose to be converts, or whatever.
True enough. Now, I've noticed that many Protestants are quick to blame the sort of brush the matters like the Crusades and the Inquisition under the rug by saying, well, that was the Catholic Church, and we all know that they're bad.
Yeah.
Of course, this is kind of a cop-out because in the early 16th century, there were no Protestants. All Christians were Catholics, essentially.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, though, there were 3 Inquisitions throughout different historical periods. There was a medieval Inquisition starting in 1184. There was the Spanish Inquisition, which is, of course, the most famous. And there was also a Protestant Inquisition. 1553 was the beginning of it. And the Protestant Inquisition was really, you don't hear about it as much, but it really, after it kicked off in 1553, was pretty bad. King Henry VIII of England took it upon himself to take on the role of the Grand Royal Inquisitor, taking the lives of 72,000 Catholics. Queen Elizabeth I proved herself King Henry's daughter by putting to death more people in 1 year than the Spanish Inquisition had done in 331 years.
Wow, there's an accomplishment.
Yeah, quite so. So when you're talking about the Inquisition, don't just foist it off on one small brand of crazies.
So, and that's something that went on for 300 years, killed over 70,000 people.
Exactly.
And had some of the most cruel and horrific tortures ever devised by man.
Right.
Or at least some of the earliest. Sick, sick people.
Yuck.
So,
well,
happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.